What's going on, everybody? I'm Jonathan in Sports, and if you hear the rain in the background, sorry about that. We've been just downpour rain for 3 weeks, and I am fed up with it. But today, we're going to talk about third-round draft choice, Cor'Dale Flott. We're going to talk about his strengths, weaknesses, how he fits in Wing's system. Also touch on my expectations for Cor'Dale, just early on in his career. But I think I'll just start talking with his frame. That might also be the biggest concern for him as well. The height and length are superb, but the weight is way too low. It is an absolute must that Cor'Dale bulks up. 175 pounds is much too small, especially for a corner who's expected to be, a slot cornerback exclusively. If he plays on the inside, he'll be asked to be in the mix on run plays. Now, I'm not sure his body can hold up long term, if he doesn't build up. Even though most people view Cor'Dale as a slot cornerback, I actually think he'll be better on the outside in the long run. He's got the speed to play on the outside. The length is excellent. Again, I get why people view him as a slot guy. Just the twitchiness and just the suddenness of this kid. It just screams slot corner. And if he was to play on the outside at the moment, he's most likely going to get bullied by bigger wide receivers. So I get them kind of points that people would come back, at me with, and I agree with them points. That just means whether Cor'Dale plays on the inside or outside, he's going to need to improve his overall size. Now, I have hope for him because he has the frame to fill out. Depending on where you look, he's listed at 6'1", 6'2", plenty of height to build his frame up. So I think he could add 15, 20 pounds comfortably. Now, I read an article that he said, he plans on adding 10 pounds, this offseason before the start of camp. That's good to hear. Most of this year's prospects have been very vocal about, working on their weaknesses, something I can't really remember from, previous draft classes. So that just gives me some extra hope for just this year's class overall. So maybe Cor'Dale plays a season on the inside before making a move to the outside year 2. That's just my feelings. Now for his strengths, I already spoke on his length, speed, his twitchiness, but his hips are excellent. There is no stiffness to this guy at all. He flips his hips beautifully, and that's a great trait to have for a cornerback. Another great trait he has is just his makeup speed. If a wide receiver just gets over the top of him, he has no problem working back into the play, and his length allows him to knock down passes in those situations. So a play could look like an easy 40-yard pass and end with an incompletion. So I love that about Cor'Dale. Now, this entire cornerback class, he's up there with the best of them in that category. I really like Cor'Dale's zone coverage reps. I don't think he'll have much problem with cover 2, cover 3, any of that stuff. The weakness starts to leak in with his play recognition, at least from the games that I watched. He overreacted way too much to receivers. He's a bit prone to jump double moves. He plays off a bit too much, and I get why. His back pedal is supreme. Like, he can run himself out of a play just backpedaling. So he just needs to play a bit closer to the wide receiver at times. His eyes are going to need work, less staring at feet and overall body movement, more staring at the hips and waist, because listen, the waist never lies. That's what they teach you. Another weakness is just his overall strength. And listen, don't take these list of weaknesses as I don't like the player. There's a but after each of these weaknesses. Like, take for instance his strength. He doesn't have great strength, but he does have that great length I talked about. And when the strength does come, you have a top tier prospect / player, whatever you want to call him, veteran. What I'm saying is Cor'Dale Flott is a developmental player. He's good enough now to be a decent, contributor, I think. But if he hits his ceiling and progresses the way this coaching staff obviously thinks he can, he could be a very special player, down the line in year 2, 3. Now, was the third round a bit too early? Yes, because I keep hearing this. But from reports, there was other teams that were super high on him. So if the Giants wanted to get him, then they had to take him right around where they did. That's just the way it is. And as for people who say he was a 5th round prospect, you're shit at projecting. I'm just going to be honest about it. Now, Cor'Dale Flott was a pick for the future, much more for the now. And that's just how I feel about it. This is a kid that gives you everything he's got in the field. I don't like to bet against players like that. He's going to compete. He's going to play hard. And honestly, I don't think you guys should bet against him either. And if he could put on 10 pounds like he said he will this offseason, he'll be on his way. Listen, I said before this draft, I want to see Joe Schoen take a few big swings and go for high reward players. This was a swing. I am all good with high floor players like Dave Gettleman bringing here. When you're drafting players and you need to fill in, I get that. But right now, there's just a good foundation of players here. You need to take a few of these swings each draft, at least a couple. For all the awful picks Jerry Reese made, he at least took a couple big swings every draft. I just feel like we're just missing a few superstars on this defense and offense. Second, third round, they took big swings here for this draft. Let me talk about my expectations for Cor'Dale this season. It's hard to say. I could see him struggling early on a bit. It'll depend on how quick he can take to the coaching. Now, if Patrick Graham was defensive coordinator, he'd probably be better off out of the gate. But I think the man coverage could give him some trouble early on. It's possible that Cor'Dale will see most of his snaps on, for sure passing downs, third and longs or something like that, nickel dime packages. I try and limit his snaps early on, on running downs. But I do want to give him credit. He is a willing tackler. But I think he's more valuable just right now, in this moment, as just a, third and long nickel dime player. I also hope that Wink gives him snaps on the outside, and in the slot. Move him around. Slowly work him from the inside to outside corner. That's what I'd ultimately love to see happen. Because that's where I want to see him starting year 2, year 3. I want him on the outside. I also want to know what y'all think. Do you guys think Cor'Dale Flott is just a developmental prospect, kind of like I do, a player for the future, or do you think he's going to be a starter year 1 and kind of contribute more to the team than people really are giving him credit? Any other opinion, I'll take as well. I'm ready for it all. I've seen some people way negative on this pick. Let's at least wait to kill him till we see him mess up on the field. I don't understand why people just want to throw, say a player's going to be awful for their whole career before we see him play one game. So just thank you all for taking the time to watch, comment, help your man out with a like. That helps. Let YouTube know that you enjoyed the video, enjoyed the content. Everybody take care, stay safe, and hit that subscribe if you're still watching. What are you waiting for? Anyways, that's it. Peace out, y'all.